guys, my name is Willem. Welcome to LRDX Cars. In the last video you saw I was here at the Motorworld in Köln to take you around here a bit, show all the cool cars that are presented here at the Motorworld in Köln. Also saw some dealerships that are located here, like the Lamborghini and the Bentley dealership, the Maserati dealership. A lot of cool cars we saw around, and yeah, I already told you in that video that the special thing about the Motorworld in Köln is that the car collection of Michael Schumacher, the 7-time World Champion in the Formula 1, has yeah, I think most of his private F1 cars here on display. So that's quite cool. If you are nearby the Motorworld in Köln, then really come check them out here. I think the Bennetton is here, where he won like 2 times in. Some different Ferraris where he won like different titles in are here, so it's quite nice to share with you a bit of the history. Some of his racing suits you already see here in the background, his cool helmets, a lot of cool heritage, like his gloves and everything here behind me. So a lot of cool things I want to share to you in this video about Michael Schumacher. And yeah, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe on the channel and watch the other video I did here at the Motorworld in Köln. And enjoy the video, guys. Like I said, behind me some of his racing gloves through the years. That's quite cool, really from 1996 to 2012. That's quite nice. A bit of the used, yeah, you really use them. It's quite cool, you really see it, that they had their best days, but yeah, it's really history here, where he won probably a lot of races with. Then here you have his first racing suit from 2000. Quite nice. I think it was yeah, a special year in his career. I think it was probably the first time to win in the season of 2000. Yes, he became the first time the World Champion with Ferrari. Oh, it's quite special for him, because he was at Scuderia Ferrari for a couple of years then. I think it was in '96 he went from Benetton to Ferrari, but yeah, the first years it was wasn't that easy to yeah, get some prize winning. Here you have like a replica of one of his trophies. And like you see in the background is the beautiful Motorworld museum, so yeah, make sure to watch those videos I did there. This here is actually the Formula 1 car, the F1 2000 they call it, from the year 2000. It's the very first time for Michael Schumacher to win with Scuderia Ferrari. Really was a good car at that day. He was the fastest at the track then. Some cool gold coverings to it. Big diffuser, nice big wheels with the V10 of course still. I think it's already also presented there. I think it had about 770 horsepower, the V10. And the sound in those days really was great. You still needed to really put protection on, get some ear protection on, because they were really loud. Still a great volume sound to it. Now it's a bit more screaming, I think, the small engines, the V6s. But yeah, this really was how an F1 engine should sound. Like now a lot of cars are trying to mimic it like the new car from Gordon Murray, I think it is. The Murray Automotive, his very first project, the designer of the F1. McLaren F1 has built his own car, and the sound was also very good. And the Pagani Huayra R recently also was unveiled, and the sound was quite like this one, but yeah, it still isn't the same anymore. It was a 3-liter V10 and the car weight was 600 kilo, so yeah, very lightweight. Yeah, great car, the F1 2000. I'm going to quickly show you the engine closer. Here you have a trophy of Suzuka in 2000. Quite cool. Even here's some signing. I think all the people that worked on the Schumacher car at that time. A bit of the wind tunnel testing, very special for the Formula 1 in the winter pulse, the wind tunnel testing. And here you have it, the V10, greatly presented, 770 horsepower like I told. That's great, 2.997 cc cylinder engine, 90 degrees, the V10 is placed. That's great. Even some carbon into it, cool Ferrari on it. Yeah, that's really nice to see here. Great engine. I think probably one of the best engines Ferrari ever built for a F1 car. Because it was their first time to actually win in it. Here, underneath you have like another car. Another Scuderia Ferrari from Michael Schumacher. Not sure what year it is. So looks like quite a cool one. Saw from downstairs in the Motorworld video, but yeah, quite a cool view. See it. Bit less going on, I always say, on the older F1 cars. If you compare them to the new ones, a bit less slicks and a bit less air veins going on everywhere. But yeah, you can really see it. Really, still the F1 car look to it. Really cool. I really like watching the Formula 1. Big congrats to Verstappen for his second world title. I think he has also something in petto still that he is going to be like the next Schumacher, I think, to win 5 times in a row and things like that. So he's now the big talent and he really deserves it. So he's a great driver. And here you have a Benetton car. The very first years, or I think it was actually the second team he was at, but he actually won also 2 world titles with that team. I think it was from 1991 till 95 Schumacher was at Benetton. It really started up his career. He showed there that he had some talent, won like his first world titles with the Benetton team, with the Ford engine in even. Yeah, quite cool to see here. From above, nicely presented. Yeah, that's great, really great. Then you see on the other side a lot of other cool cars we need to go through. We'll continue to walk here a bit. Maybe show here some of his helmets from new to old. His last one at Mercedes, because he actually did a comeback. Schumacher, I think he raced 2 or 3 years from 2010 till 2013. Or he even did like one race in 2013 and he actually quit in 2012, but he did like fell in for some guy at that time. He drove like one game just, I think. It's quite small to see them, the helmets. They're very cool, nice design to them. You can see even the inner side is in gold. I think to protect, to be more stronger, also for the heat protection. Because it gets very hot in the F1 cars, something you guys won't know, but they really are getting baked there. Some of the other helmets from AMG, and then the cool ones from Ferrari, where he actually won in 2009, 2007, 2006, 2005 helmets. I think 2006, 5, or what was it? I think from 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 4 and 5. Only 4, I think. He won like 5 titles in a row from 2000 to 2004. Then he started with 2 from Bennetton. So yeah, 7 world titles for the legends. These are from 2002. 2001, another 2001. You see it sometimes they change up, like this one was from the for Japan. This one with the American flag, of course, for the USA. That's quite nice. Silverstone for Spain in 1997, 1998 and 1999. Yeah, you see also, because now we're going a bit backward in time, that the design on the helmets changed a bit. like a way more simpler design back in the days. This one was for the Belgian Grand Prix in '96. 95, 94 helmets, these were from Benetton. And then the camel ones from 1992 and 93, all from Bell, a known helmet maker for the race cars. That's quite cool. Very simple, you see here, Michael Schumacher, its very first one. It's quite cool to go here through the ages. Quite nice. Which one do you prefer? I think the Ferrari helmets are a great look. They're a bit orange even. And it's maybe nice to go a bit back into the history of where Michael Schumacher actually came from. Michael and his broer Ralph had the fortunate that their dad had like a karting track at the time. So yeah, the two boys were always working or driving themselves on the karting track. And then I read a bit about them, and they were using, because they weren't like the very rich family, because most of the times it's quite expensive to get into the Formula 1. You probably need like good funding, a good family to support you, or some good supporting. That's why you see most of the time their son of an F1 driver always gets to driving. But with Schumacher it was that his dad had like a karting track, so we could use like used off parts or used off tires that other guys would throw away. Michael would actually go and drive with those used tires and beat the times of the guys with the newer tires. So it's quite fun. He really was a talented guy, and of course if you work and are always on a karting track, then you really get into it. And he was a passionate guy, and it really was a big start for him. The karting, he won all the titles with, and then he had to win the 7 world titles. It's quite nice. We have the 2006 medal. A lot of cool medals he won here. It's quite cool, the steering wheel. Yeah, a lot of them here, of course, because he won like a lot of races. I think he attended like 300 races during the years, so it's quite special. Good driving. Then what is this? Is it already a Benetton car, or is it like his very first one? No, the Jordan 191 chassis 04. Just like the very first year for Michael to be in the Formula 1, that he was driving with the Jordan team. Really his debut he did in this car. Quite nice. I think it was about 1991. Ford engine in there. You see a bit of a simple design of Formula 1 car. If you compare it now to the newer ones we'll come to in a minute. Yeah, it's quite cool. The Jordan racing team also was a known racing team at that time. Then if we continue, if we go further to the history of Michael Schumacher, this was, I think, from what year it says it is, his very first Benetton car. The Benetton B19504 was actually from 1995. So it was the car where he actually did like the first World Champion winning. This is his first World Champion win with Benetton, I think in 1995 and 1996. Yeah, this is like his first World Championship with a Renault engine in there. You read it, Schumacher, some padding on the sides. See already a bit more going on than on the Jordan car. And we'll continue here. This is another one. From what year is this? The 1992 car. So his second Benetton car. I think the first year was 1991 that he raced at Benetton. 1990 he was still at the Jordan team. And he actually had like 91 victories, 91 guys of the 300 races he actually attended. So I think one of the 3 races Michael Schumacher would start in, he would actually win. That's quite nice. think maybe only Hamilton, or maybe now Verstappen has like better statistics, but it's quite sick. And yet like 155 podiums he was on, so that he was like first, second or third, so it's crazy. So not only did he like win 1 out of 3 times the race, but he would actually be half of the times on the podium. So that's quite a sick history. This is a Formula 3 car from 1989. Probably he also won the Formula F3 back at that time, because normally you get promoted if you win like the F3, then you can go up to F1, and then he went to Jordan. That was quite cool. It's a coming up phase. You really need to prove yourself in the F3 cars that you're a good enough driver. And the year before he drove at Formel Ford 1600 it says. That's hanging up here. That's quite sick to see where he actually came from. The F3s he raced at the time. You see, if you now compare it, the F3 cars look like almost the same as an F1 car, only a bit smaller. But if you look at this one, it's really sort of an old look to it, but it's cool. Really nice heritage here. Then there on the wall, you have like his go-kart back in the time. It's a Tony Kart Extreme Formel Super A it says. Only weighs 140 kilos. And he actually drove the 2000 Kart World Championship in it, in Germany, at his home base. Because he always stayed karting. It says on the paper. Yeah, that's quite nice. He still kept his passion. Like I told, that's where he came from. The passion from his dad started there with the karting. Yeah, it's quite cool. The full carbon seat and the underlayer. You see, very lightweight. Yeah, quite cool. Then here have another look of the cool classics here. Really go watch the video where I took you through. Then we'll go see what other cool F1 cars are here. And here you have like the Mercedes-Benz AMG, where he did like his comeback in 2010. They call it the MGP W01. And yeah, it wasn't that great of a comeback for Schumacher, of course, but yeah, what I always think is, at that time Mercedes wasn't that good at all. And afterwards, when Schumacher stopped, Rosberg became world champion, then Lewis Hamilton became like 5 times world champion in a row. And I really personally think that Schumacher had a lot to do with that, because also at the time at Ferrari, the first 4 years he was at Ferrari, the car wasn't that good at all. And then after some years, because Michael really communicated a lot with the mechanics and the engineers, he really had some input in it himself. Now a lot of drivers just race the car and don't have like that much of an input, but I think Schumacher really had some input on the later victories. Mercedes-Benz, all the world titles they actually won. I'm not gonna say it's only thanks to him, but I think he had some input to it to make the cars better. And yeah, the statistics say enough that Rosberg actually wins. I don't know what year it was, 2013, 2014 in the Mercedes, after Schumacher was there for 2 years, and then Hamilton becomes like 5 times world champion. Yeah, quite cool. Like cool pattern in the carbon fiber. That's quite nice. And even the steering wheel is put on. Maybe zoom in a bit, because there's always a lot going on the steering wheels. All the buttons. I saw like an interview of Hamilton, and I didn't think they were using all the buttons, but he said that even between all the corners, even between one corner, when you drive from one to the other, they are constantly changing the settings of the car to let them be the fastest in that type of corner. On a straight line, they're always changing up things. So it's quite, also a lot of thinking is going on when you're driving the car, not only just driving, but also thinking what is the best spec I need to be in now, always changing up things. And like I said, if you compare it to the older F1 cars, a lot more going on the newer ones, like all the flicks here. Quite nice, the spoilers that open or close up in the front. Even also in the rear, some more air veins going on to really direct the air to all the places. Extra air intakes, nice spoiler on top. That's quite cool. At that time they really didn't have DRS, it came a bit later. But like you see, the channel in between is a bit the beginning of that. Full carbon, of course, everything. Carbon lightweight materials used for this car. Nice slick tires on. I'm gonna quickly walk you through the caps. When you win like an F1 Grand Prix, you get like a cap. 2000, 2001, 2002, the 2 in 1. That's quite cool. For his 2001 World Championship. That's quite nice. All his racing caps look quite small to me. I think he didn't have like a big head, Schumacher. Not quite nice. 2004, 5, 6. Continuing here. That's quite nice. Even when he was with AMG. That's nice. Share some of his history caps. Then we'll go to the other side. These were like his very first car. First car to win a world title in. Other Benetton cars and the cars that actually got him into the F1, the F3 cars. And then this comeback car. Now we'll go to the nice ones, to the Scuderia Ferraris, where he won all the world titles with. And we come here at the very first Ferrari Michael Schumacher actually raced with, the 1996 car. Is here where I'm from. And yeah, at that time Ferrari wasn't that good at all. It took, I think, about 4 years for Michael and the team to get the cars to where they wanted it to be, to actually win some races, to win some titles. Yeah, quite cool design to it. A lot of carbon, of course. A bit smaller front lip, like you see, in comparison to the other ones. Cool air intakes here. You even have some Michael signing on the inside. Scuderia shield. Nice air intakes, of course. And some used tires around. That's quite cool. Yeah, it was, of course, Michael was happy at the time to go to a known team, to Scuderia Ferrari. But yeah, Ferrari wasn't that good at the time. It really took him some time, some effort to improve the cars with the team. Yeah, always a great look. F1 cars, they called it F310 167 is the name. Always have some code names for the F1 cars. Quite nice. And here you have some of his racetracks. Very first WTS racing team suits. You can read it on the side. Here you have like all the namings. I think all of his karting and all the races, or at which race he drove, which costume. But I'm gonna walk like past him from Bennetton. His very first ones to actually win, and also. And you can see his very first at Ferrari from 1996, where he drove that car in. Quite cool, of course. Nice red suit is a bit was a bit more cooler, of course. But yeah, you really need to win titles, not only about the cool look. Yeah, but I like the Marlboro sign on them back when the brand still good support Formula 1. Like here you have like the camel and then quite cool. Marlboro, big sponsor at the time. Here you see when they were cut out. Here's like the Belgian Grand Prix raced in. There is also something of the UK Grand Prix. It's really cool. So they actually put on the actually raced in. I think this one is for karting used. With some shoes underneath. Quite cool. he wasn't that of a big guy, but that's most of the time what Formula 1 drivers need to be a bit more tight and smaller to fit in the small cockpit there. Yeah, quite cool. This is a special one, I think, for Monaco it was, it says. The special colors to it. And of course they are like fireproof suits, because yeah, it's a dangerous sport. If you get caught in a fire in that car, you don't want to like burn alive, so suit protects you a bit. And here's some of the Mercedes suits. This was actually his last, I think. But you also see when walking past these that, yeah, like I say, they really improve for safety. It's quite a thing. And nice. Then here you have this 1995 car. They call it the F399 and 195. And yeah, read a bit of history about it. When Michael Schumacher crashed into the barrier due to a brake failure, I think he maybe crashed his car at the time. Because yeah, at that time, 1999, they didn't won like the World Championship, but I think it was already quite close to it. Yeah, better aerodynamic pack, they said. And you see it a bit more going on here on the front again. That's quite nice. Yeah, that's a good look. Nice Scuderia badge on there. Marble look to it. The gold for the coverings. Yeah, that's quite nice. I think, like I was reading, he just missed the championship at that time because of a braking failure. Still the V10 in there. Yeah, it's quite nice. Then continue here a bit. I think that should be like the 2000 car that he did, like his, oh, it was that one actually, so maybe this is like the 2001, yes, Ferrari F2001 M209, second world title in this one. That's cool. And he really started going, he had like the fastest cars on the grid. Also improving himself. Good look, really sick. You see here the flicks, a bit more going on again. Always a bit more improvement. Cool carbon here, cooling for the brakes again. The front, of course, really good low down to the ground. Quite cool in the races. You always see like the fire flicks coming out of the rear. Maybe a bit of history for this one. He won like 9 races in this car. That's quite special. Good year for him. 2001. The air scoop on top is a bit smaller. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but there is like no luxury or anything at all to it. Just some padding. You sit like in the carbon fiber top. Your wheels or your feet are like totally put down in the front. So not comfortable at all to sit. That's why they're all small and lightweight drivers. Yeah, cool look to it. Fins here on the rear. They had some good wins in this car. Then come here to the 2002 car. Is third world title for Ferrari, and actually is 5th at that time. He won in this F2002 and 23 Ferrari. Again, a bit more better. The aerodynamics have improved a bit. I think they still used like the V10 at that time. And he won like 17 races with this car. And from the 17 races he had like all podiums. That's quite sick. So every race he attended in this car he actually was on the podium. That's quite nice. What a driver. What a driver. Schumacher. Yeah, quite cool. Then you had like a bit of the combination of the white and the black, or white and the red. It's cool. Shields on, even some more antennas on, like you see. That's quite cool. Really cool to see it. A bit up close, the history here from the probably the most known F1 driver. Really cool exhaust on there. Sick sound will come out. Yeah, really cool. And there is like a sort of the more car Schumacher actually raced in. We saw while I was taking you through here the Motorworld museum. And here another one. I think this should be like the 2003 car then. Yeah, 2003, the GAN227 they call it. Again, the most noticeable thing is that you already had it like on that car. I missed it a bit. You have like sort of the fin here on the side. It's quite a new element to it. Sort of extra element to the car. But yeah, at that time really Ferrari was dominating really for all the wins in the last 2 years. He was still the best driver. Read a bit about this car. Yeah, still the V10 in it. It's the best era of course for Formula 1 cars. The V10 in. That's quite cool. Quite nice to share with you guys. Here you have it, Formula 1 Constructors World Championship 2003. There. So not only the world title but also the constructor title. Also quite a thing. Like 2 separate titles you can get. I think most of the years he won like both. So yeah, he had so many wins in the cars. See here a bit the rear is changed up a bit. It's quite nice. Flicks there. A lot going on, a lot of wind tunnel testing, a lot of aerodynamica. Hier a Fiat 500L, I think this is. Maybe also owned by him. And then I think the last car he was like won the world title in is this F2004 car, still with the V10 in. And yeah, his last world title he won with this car. That's quite cool. Bit even better, like a newer layer in the front. Yeah, cool look to it. Quite sick car. Bit more newer carbon like you see. It's quite fun. BBS wheels on of course. And then another thing is here on the side. Some air intakes. You can now see it on the other car, but here it's a bit more noticeable. Always the steering wheel in. Also the steering wheels changed during the years. More setting. I was reading a bit about this car, the last one from 2004. And it had like for the first time a 3-liter 6-cylinder in there. And I read the very first 4 races they were driving with this car was a bit of a disaster. And they really needed to change up a lot on this car. And yeah, of course they managed to do it. And after some races, after the first races, they really got back into winning again. Because yeah, of course if you're a world champion like Michael, you don't want to not be on the podium after all those world titles. So it's quite fun. The sound is a bit gone I think in this car, a bit gone, a bit less than in the V10, but yeah, nice to share a bit about it. Here you have some of the other medals. Quite nice, some of his ears, some of his shirts, some of his passes even. Quite cool, from Bennetton. I don't know if you guys can see it with his old face on. And his very first Scuderia Ferrari. It was his wife, Schumacher. Yeah, quite fun. Here you have some of his merchandise, still good seller of merchandise at Formula 1. You always have like a truck of every band and then a truck from Schumacher, so still a lot of fans of him out there. And I hope you enjoyed here a bit of the cars from Michael Schumacher, a bit of the history. And yeah, it's nice to share with you. But This one is a Fiat 500L from Schumacher. Probably his daily car that he was using to drive around Modena and Maranello during the season. Quite fun. I've been there myself at the Ferrari factory. We also saw there some of his race cars. So yeah, if you haven't seen the video I did at the museum in Maranello and Modena, then also go watch it. Quite nice. We also saw there a lot of his history. And this is also quite a special thing. It's a gift from Scuderia Ferrari for winning the 2002 F1 title. Quite nice. All the signings of his team members. Quite cool to do. Quite fun to have in your garage. You see like World Titles here already won, 94, 95, 2001, 2002. Cool. Here you have some of the insides. It's like I was talking about. Just really carbon top where you sit in with a little bit of padding in. But yeah, nothing at all even, like you see on this one. So it's quite hard to sit for the drivers. You really need to have like a good back, well trained back to it. Because yeah, you're sitting just in a hard carbon top. Of course to save weight. If you're driving like 1.5, sometimes 2 hours race, then yeah, it isn't the most comfortable place to sit. Here's some of the media, like in the times he got in the papers. Of course, a known sporting guy at that time. I think he was probably one of the best paid sporters at that time. And some of his races here, quite nice to just walk around here a bit. I hope you enjoyed it a bit here, guys, in the Motorworld in Köln. If you're nearby, really come check those cars out. It's quite nice. If you're a F1 guy or you're a big Michael Schumacher fan, then it's really worth it to come and check around here. I think all of his winning, all of his most special cars are here. And I think some of them are even owned yeah, really of himself, of the private collection of the Schumacher family. So it's quite nice of them to share them with the public, so we can have a closer look, we fans. And yeah, make sure to also watch the video I did here when I walked here a bit around at the Motorworld in Köln. A lot of cool cars we saw here, like in the 40, AMG GT Black series. A lot of cool ones that are here on storage or on display. And yeah, I want to say a very big thanks to all of you. Please also leave a like and subscribe on the channel, because yeah, I can really use all the support. Last month I was like I told in the last video, I'm back again working after all the traveling to get some money in for the event season next year. But yeah, if you guys leave a like and subscribe on the channel, it also means a lot to me that you help me with, so I can keep making cool supercar videos for you guys. Very big thanks, and see you in the next video. Bye guys!